told you, you stupid fool. Did you really think you gonna hit me? Huh? Bow, bow, bam! Over.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So I often have people sending me the news. So, when I wake up, I check my inboxes, and one of the first messages I seen was a quote. And I didn't even know who the quote was from. This is the first thing I see in my inbox that someone sent me. Man, I'm going through a lot at this moment in my life, but I ain't gonna give up. I set some more goals, and I ain't stopping until I finish what I started. But sorry to say this, but I'm not fighting August 20th. It wasn't until I heard August 20th, that's when I realized it was Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner has officially pulled out of his fight with Omar Figueroa on August 20th, and he's blaming it on mental health. Adrian, he put out a much longer post where he basically said that he's not going to play with his life going in the ring, as serious as the sport of boxing is, when he's dealing with health issues or mental health issues. At the end of the day, we already know that when it comes to the sport of boxing is far more mental than it is physical. Some people say it's 80%, some people say it's 90% mental than it is physical. There's no doubt about it. You have to be very strong mentally and physically when you're getting in the ring and you're going to war. It's not like any other sport. You can't rely on the rest of the team to pick up the slack when you don't feel 100%. It's all up to you. No one else can help you once that bell rings. So, of course, Ryan Garcia, he started the whole mental health trend. And then Danny Garcia, he started talking about his mental health, of what he was dealing with. And now we hear Adrian Broner say it. So the question is, does mental health exist? Of course mental health exists. But when it comes to the sport of boxing, boxers have been pulling out of fights because they've been going through stuff in their life since the inception of the sport. Boxers have been getting depressed after they take L's since the inception of the sport. I'm sure Broner is definitely going through a whole lot of stuff. He definitely has a very complicated life. And you could use the word mental health to describe that if you want to. But the truth is, mental health, it just basically means you're going through some stuff. Trust me, I done heard some stories of some boxers going through some personal stuff, and I didn't even know how they kept their sanity, let alone continue the boxing career and was still successful. You're going through a rough patch in your life. Maybe your wife just left you. Maybe you just got fired from the greatest job ever, and you don't know what you're gonna do now. Maybe one of your loved ones just passed away. These are things that affect us all. So at the end of the day, if you wanna call it life, if you wanna call it mental health, if you wanna call it depression, no matter what word you use to describe it, it's the same thing that people deal with and people go through. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Adrian Broner, if he's not feeling 100% focused, he's right. He definitely shouldn't jump in the ring. If he's not feeling it, he's not motivated, he's not driven because of outside distractions in his life, he definitely shouldn't get in the ring. I completely agree with Adrian Broner when he says, you're putting your life on the line if you're not focused. Boxing is definitely not a sport that you play. So I don't blame Adrian Broner for pulling out of this fight if he's not feeling it. All I'm saying is fighters pulling out because of some stuff they're going through, they're just not focused, or they're depressed over this and that. Or fighters like Danny Garcia talking about how depressed he was after he lost to Errol Spence. Fighters have been going through that since the beginning in the sport of boxing. Calling it mental health now is just a fancy word that people are using because it's trending. So Adrian Broner, he says he's going to bounce back. He still has plenty of goals that he wants to accomplish. We'll see. But in the sport of boxing, you have a small window to accomplish all the things you want to do. And when you're older and the longer time you take off, the harder it is to get back to where you were before. We'll see how this plays out for Adrian Broner. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.